Thank you.
I do, thank you. Now, today is the 14th day of the Olympic torch relay. The flame is travelling from Bolton to Liverpool, and Robert Hall is in Liverpool for us. Over to you, Robert.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Got to start off really with that wonderful shot of the Mersey. Haven't they been lucky? Nearly heading for 2,700 miles and almost that number of runners. And still the people keep coming out. There may be rain lurking. We may have had the odd shower yesterday. But look at this today. Perfect for Liverpool, indeed. Perfect for the journey which began in Bolton earlier today. Let's look at a couple of the highlights, starting over on Crosby Beach. Wonderful setting there, of course, the Gormley sculptures there. 15-year-old Jessica Wade carried the torch onto the beach there. She helps at an animal shelter in the holidays. Remember, all these people nominated by the local community or by their friends, by their families, for the efforts they've made, helping out local groups, giving of themselves, perhaps struggling against health issues. They're all out there. It's one of the proudest moments of their lives, and no exception in the case of Jessica. And then we move on to Aintree Racecourse, another under brilliantly blue skies. Hundreds of children out there on the racecourse. There not just to see the torch carried by Kimberly Cooper, who started a project to stop rubbish going to landfill, so sort of an ecological campaigner there. But she's out there with Neptune Solange, of course, this year's Grand National winner, sporting a rug, I believe is the correct terminology for it, made by about 350 local children, many of whom were there to see the occasion. And so they travel on, moving ever closer to Liverpool. This is where we will end up, but not before the torch has crisscrossed the Mersey. It heads off under the Mersey through the tunnel to Birkenhead. It then comes back on a ferry with a flotilla of boats and makes a grand entrance into the arena here, which I'm sure you can imagine even now will be packed with people. Remember Plymouth Hoe, remember Exeter, remember Taunton, remember 30,000 at Cheltenham. It's going to be like that again tonight. The first few beginning to arrive. This place will be humming in a very short time, and the build-up just goes on until the torch appears. I spoke to the convoy commander a little earlier. He's hopeful that things will be running to time, so that torch should be here sometime between 6 and 7 o'clock tonight. For now, from a very sunny Liverpool, back to you.
Robert, thank you. It does look lovely.
It does, doesn't it?
Let's take a look at the headline.
So, where is it? Well, they've met a giant naked sea bather, ran down the finishing straight at Aintree and visited the elephants again. Yes, we're talking about the torchbearers on the 14th day of the torch relay. They've had a very time of it on the road from Bolton to Liverpool. Let's take a look. 15-year-old Jessica Wade carried the Olympic flame right out onto the beach in Crosby to pose in front of one of the Anthony Gormley sculptures. She then spends her holidays helping out at the local animal rescue centre there, so that's why she got to carry the flame.
On to Aintree, and the Grand National winner Neptune Solange accompanied the torchbearer Kimberly Cooper. Kim helped set up a project at Leeds University to stop student rubbish going into landfill.
And another trip to the zoo on day 6. The elephants of West Midlands Safari Park waved flags to welcome the torch. Today, their relatives in Knowsley seemed rather less impressed, despite Jane Campbell's best efforts. But she's helped to raise £500,000 for a community centre. Well, the torch relay is drawing to the end of its 14th day, a journey from Bolton to Liverpool, as we said earlier. Robert Hall has been tracing its progress and is there for us now. And I think the last bit of its trek will be on a ferry, Rob.
Yes, it will. What a wonderful evening. We just wanted to give you this wonderful, serene image of the Mersey with the sun glinting off it. We're, nearly 2,700 miles into this relay, and pretty well that number of torch bearers. They have been so lucky with the weather. Yes, yesterday wasn't quite so good, but once again, a beautiful evening for the finale to another day. The torch is actually going to crisscross the Mersey. It will go down a tunnel underneath the river. It will then pick up a ferry from Birkenhead. There's a shot of it over on the other side there in the distance, and it will make its way back across towards the pierheads in front of the Liver building, accompanied by a flotilla of boats, and it will be greeted by thousands of people. Now, the crowd estimates here are very difficult to judge. When we were in Cheltenham the other day, they estimated 10,000 in the evening. They reckon they got 30,000 in the end. Got some early arrivals here. They're going to have a very good view over the heads of the sea of people going right down to the stage at the other end here, and I have managed to trap one family who've come over here. First of all, tell me where you come from. Are you local? Or?
No, I'm from Liverpool, Old Swan, yeah.
Liverpool, yeah.
Yeah.
And did you decide a long time ago to come down? Or?
No, we come down to see our daughter who's singing in one of the choirs there. So we come down ready to see her and see how she gets on.
I was watching them earlier. I mean, every one of these evening events I've been to, there's been local people helping to, you know, give a local feel to the whole thing. I think that's what's come across, isn't it? Right? You've probably been watching bits of the relay.
Well, we have been, I've been working and busy, but we watch what we can of it. And obviously we come down for our daughter really, who's really enthusiastic about the whole event. So, you know, we come down and support her really.
What do you think about the relay? Have you caught any of the pictures of it travelling around the torch?
Yeah, we've just been watching it on the TV, obviously with everybody else. So it's been really, really exciting, and we're pleased that our daughter and her school have had the opportunity to sing here tonight.
Well, we wish you have a fantastic evening, along with a lot of other people who are going to be here. Thanks very much for stopping by in the sunshine to talk to me. Of course, your regional television programme, regional BBC News up here, the local programmes will be showing the event here. We'll be showing some of the images on the news channel, and join me in about an hour, just under, when I'm going to be talking, I hope, to the captain of the ferry that's going to bring the torch across. But for now, back to you.
See you there. Many thanks for now. The weather looks absolutely lovely in Liverpool at the moment. We're going to be bringing you the latest weather update as well, just ahead of the headlines at the top of the hour.
First.
But within the past hour, the Olympic flame has arrived in Liverpool after crossing the River Mersey on day 14 of the torch relay. It left Bolton this morning, travelling through Lancashire before heading to Merseyside. Robert Hall is in Liverpool for us. Robert.
Yes, indeed. The crowd's building up here. We're expecting about 10 to 20,000 people into the arena here at the Pierheads in Liverpool. Fantastic evening. When you think about it, nearly 2,700 miles, nearly that number of runners. They've been pretty blessed with good weather. Now, I'm going to talk to this gentleman next to me in a minute because he's about to perform a very important job. But let's have a look at one or two of the other events that have been happening during today. Let's go back to this morning's events and let's see, first of all, I think probably Knowsley Safari Park is a good place to have a look because that was the point at which the torch was welcomed by giraffes. We've seen elephants a little earlier in the journey. Today it was giraffes. And we stayed with the animal theme because at lunchtime today the torch arrived at Aintree Racecourse. Neptune Collage, the Grand National winner from this year, was there along with hundreds of school children. Some of those children had actually made the rug which the horse was wearing, the torchbearer and the horse forming a bit of a double act there in front of all of those kids underneath, again, blue skies, hot weather. And then on to the beach at Crosby. In fact, just before that, the beach at Crosby, the Gormley statue down there, one of them visible in the shots you can see there. Again, a fantastic setting. But we're all now looking at Liverpool. I'm watching the web pictures. Don't forget, you can follow the torch's progress on our torch cam pictures on the internet. I'm watching them now as it makes its way down through Liverpool. It will go underneath the river. It will then go on board Robbie's boat. Now, Robbie, you're the captain of the boat, of the vessel that's going to bring the torch across the river. What a fantastic thing. What a one-off for you.
It's absolutely brilliant. I mean, it's a wonderful coup for Mersey ferries as well. And to just be on board and be part of it, it's just an amazing feeling.
Everybody has their own view as to what has captured the public imagination. What do you think, son? It's about to happen again here tonight.
Yeah, I think seeing the torch go around the country has put everyone in touch with what's going on with the Olympics this year. And everyone's got a feel for it. And as you say, the weather's been absolutely brilliant wherever the torch has been. And coming here tonight, I'm sure this will be an absolutely amazing atmosphere later on this evening.
Well, everywhere, tremendous local pride. Merseyside, Liverpool, huge amount of that sense of belonging. And I think that's the thing, isn't it? In a way, each area owns the torch just for a little while.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, the torch will come to Liverpool, and for that moment, it will be Liverpool's torch, and I'm sure they'll look after it very well.
Now, you've been very good because you've got to dash off to the boat. Yep. So off you go. Let's just see Robbie's vessel down there. He's going to make his way down there now. There it is, on the pierheads here, shortly to be heading off to Birkenhead. And as he heads off down towards the gangway, we await the arrival of thousands and thousands of people and, of course, of that torch. And we'll be bringing you those pictures a little bit later on. Torch always a little bit unpredictable, especially when it's so busy. And if, as I say, you look at the torch cam pictures, you can see the numbers out on the streets in Liverpool, and I'm sure over there in Birkenhead as well. So keep an eye on that torch cam. You can follow its progress. And then, of course, the big moment when it arrives here and the cauldron here in Liverpool is lit between between 6 and 7 o'clock tonight, if all goes well. Back to you.
Robert, thanks very much. And you can follow the Olympic torch online at bbc.co.uk/torch relay, where you can watch videos, check where and when it'll be in your area, and of course keep fully up to date with its progress around the country. Now, with the time coming up to 5:30, this is BBC News with Gavin Essler, a summary of tonight's main news stories. The Foreign Secretary William Hague has warned that Syria is on the edge of an all-out civil war and risks collapsing into sectarian strife. Reports from activists in Syria today say 13 factory workers have been shot dead by a pro-government militia in the west of the country. The UN Human Rights Commissioner has said last week's massacre in the town of Hula may amount to crimes against humanity. Voters in Ireland have approved a treaty drawn up in response to the Eurozone crisis. In a nationwide referendum, 60% voted to accept the new budget rules intended to introduce greater financial discipline and prevent the collapse of the currency. Stock markets across the world have recorded losses following worse than expected jobs figures in the United States of America. The US economy added just 69,000 jobs in May, much lower than had been predicted. Meanwhile, new figures suggest the manufacturing industry in the UK is shrinking at its fastest rate for 3 years. The former Energy Secretary Chris Huhne has appeared at Southwark Crown Court, charged with perverting the course of justice. He's accused of persuading his ex-wife to take speeding points on his behalf after a motoring offence nearly 10 years ago. Mr. Huhne did not enter a plea at the hearing. Final preparations are taking place today ahead of this weekend's Diamond Jubilee celebrations. The Royal Navy warship HMS Diamond fired a 21-gun salute as it arrived in Portsmouth. Onlookers were treated to a flypast featuring naval helicopters. Sport now, and for a full roundup from the BBC Sports Centre, here is Lizzie.
Thanks so much, Gavin. Good afternoon. Brendan